The Legend of Zelda Battlequest is one of the attractions that's featured in Nintendoland for the Wii U. The overall aesthetic actually reminds me of a patchwork quilt, with a lot of the characters looking like dolls or plushies that have been sewn together, and as you attack monsters, stuffing will actually start to pop out. Now, Battlequest specifically can support up to 5 players, and technically has 3 different game modes for you to conquer. One player will take on the role of the archer, using the Wii U gamepad and its gyroscope controls to aim. The screen on the gamepad itself shows an entirely different view to what is shown on the TV, which allows the player controlling the archer to have their own unobstructed view of the action. Generally speaking, I found playing as the archer pretty fun. The controls were very responsive and you can look around and aim wherever you want. Now, any other players who join in take on the roles of swordsmen, using the Wiimotes as a proxy for the Master Sword. Using the sword never felt as intuitive as the bow, with the motion tracking often going off center, forcing you to reset it constantly. Now, regardless of which role you chose, you're pretty much on rails for the entire level, always walking forwards. This was a little bit annoying, especially if you're playing as the swordsman. Not being able to turn around at will or choose where you want to actually go makes the game feel kind of limited. The first mode that I played through is the time trials, which is actually single player only. You play as the archer and you just need to clear through several waves of enemies in the allotted time. There's only 3 courses for this mode and they were all really easy. I cleared each of them on the first try. The second mode, which I would consider the main game mode, is adventure. You work your way through 9 stages that are reimaginings of popular Zelda locations. They all take between 5 to 15 minutes to clear, and the first few stages were pretty easy. However, the difficulty scales very quickly, with some of the later courses taking more than a dozen tries for us to actually get through. In these courses, you fight your way through different waves of enemies, and occasionally you might have to solve a basic puzzle. At the end of each stage, there's some kind of boss fight, you get the Triforce, see a screen that shows how well you've done, and then you unlock the next stage. The final boss of the normal adventure mode is Ganon, who was a legitimate challenge the first few times we fought him. But like most of the fights in this game, if you put in the time and learn the patterns, you will eventually prevail. Beating Ganon unlocks the third extra mode, which has 5 more adventure type courses to go through. Beating these stages was definitely a challenge because most of them were very long, but only 2 of the 5 gave us any real trouble. I definitely felt like the role of the archer using the gamepad worked the best and was the most fleshed out. While playing as the swordsman was fun initially, as the difficulty scaled up, the issues with the motion tracking became more and more apparent, causing lots of frustration. This game was also a lot longer than I would have expected, being that it's just one game mode available in all of Nintendoland, and because of that, it definitely overstayed its welcome, as the gameplay doesn't contain a ton of variety. If you own this game and own a Wii U, it might be worth checking out for a little while, but it's yet another game on this list where if you skip it, you're really not missing much.